What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we are going to be bantering about the state of the 2023 St. Louis Cardinals. Now, before I get into it, there is a corresponding article up on LaracuenteLedger.com right now that corresponds to this very article and details everything that we're about to go over. So make sure you check that out. It is down in the show notes below. There is a link right to the article. So make sure you check that out. And as we look at the Cardinals, we begin with the major acquisition. Now, when it comes to the major acquisition for the Cardinals, Willson Contreras is that player. For the first time in 20 years, the Cardinals will be without Yadier Molina behind the plate. And I think that for the Cardinals, this is a big move, a big transition from where they are used to. Yes, Yadi is one of the greatest defensive catchers we have ever witnessed. We know that. We've seen it. This has been well documented. Willson Contreras is not that defender. No, not at all. But there's going to be an offensive component to Willson Contreras' game that is very different from that of Yadier Molina. At Yadi's peak offensively, is still not what Willson Contreras can provide the Cardinals. I think this is a very good move, a very good signing. Contreras was the best catcher available on the free agent market this offseason. The Cardinals targeted him and went after him and brought him in. And to me, it was a very solid move, a very good move and smart move. As we move closer towards the electronic strike zone, framing and the ability that Yadi had is going to be less and less important. Now, it is still going to be a factor in 2023. There are going to be defensive woes in 2023 for Willson Contreras. There's going to be a learning curve for Cardinals fans when it comes to the defensive ability of a Willson Contreras. But what he is capable of providing the Cardinals offensively should, at the end of the year, max out and even out what the Cardinals are getting. And when it comes to the significant injuries, Dylan Carlson is the player that we're focused on. Right now, right arm fatigue is what's being listed, and it's an unknown amount of time that it's really going to take him to get worked back into the Cardinals lineup. I think there's an opportunity for St. Louis to really maximize what they have with this young, talented outfield core that they have. Dylan Carlson is going to be a guy that is going to be able to contribute to that once he gets back and healthy. So it's really going to be a matter of how much time it's going to take him to get back into that Cardinals lineup and contributing on a daily basis. As we examine the top prospect for St. Louis, Jordan Walker, who is now being converted into an outfielder, was formerly a third base prospect, is the #1 in their ranking system. When you look at this player, this is a tremendous player. One of the very best prospects in all of Major League Baseball, and should have an immediate impact for the Cardinals in 2023. Whether they're going to start him off in the minors to kind of continue his development as he is transitioning from third base to an outfielder, there's going to be a learning curve there, yes. But offensively, this player is really going to be able to provide the Cardinals with a ton of offense over the next coming decade. I think there's an opportunity that this could be one of the very best players in an underrated pick for the National League Rookie of the Year. Yes, there's an opportunity for him to be able to be a significant contributor. And with Nolan Arenado already ensconced at third base, you know you had to move Walker to a different position. Now, moving him to the outfield, one of the corner spots is likely going to be where he ends up. This is still going to be a bat that plays at that position, and he has the arm strength to be able to make that a real possibility. Now, when it comes to the bold prediction, I'm predicting that the Cardinals will reach the World Series. Now, they may not necessarily win it, but I think that there's a lot to really like about this Cardinals squad. You also add in the fact that they could be getting one of their top prospects in Jordan Walker as a contributed, consistent member of this team. You also have, in my opinion, one of the best offensive young outfield cores in all of baseball. This is an opportunity for the Cardinals to really solidify themselves. They have arguably the best infield corner tandem in Major League Baseball history. That's how much and how highly I believe in Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. We've seen it play out through the WBC for Team USA. This is arguably some of the best baseball players from a pure standpoint, from hitting, fielding, that the Cardinals have had in a very long time. Being able to put both of those guys on the squad really allows the Cardinals to push forward in a very strong way. So I do believe that the Cardinals can reach the World Series in 2023. Now, when it comes to predicting the divisional rankings, number 1 is the spot where I believe the Cardinals will end up. We have a corresponding article and a video here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast and an article on LaracuenteLedger.com that we detail in more description as to why we believe the Cardinals land number 1. But I think that when you look at this squad and what they have, there's going to be a lot more certainty with this Cardinals roster than some of their other competitors in the division. Yes, it's going to be a battle with the Cubs. It's going to be a battle with the Brewers for this number 1 spot. But I think that when you look at the overall rosters between the 3, the Cardinals have the most that you can kind of bank on. And I believe that that's why they end up number 1 overall. Now, when it comes to grading out the pitching staff, it is a B+ grade. There's a lot to like about what they have on this roster. You have a veteran leader in Adam Wainwright. You have one of the more underrated arms, in my opinion, in Jordan Montgomery. You also have arguably one of the best relievers in Ryan Helsley coming out of that bullpen. There's an opportunity for the Cardinals to get even better when it comes to their pitching. And I think that for Cardinals fans, this is a team that you can really rally around. You saw how they played with Yadi and Albert's final season, but they have an opportunity and an ability now to get even better, in my opinion. So I think that there's a lot to like about this Cardinals pitching staff, and that's why they get a B+ overall grade. Now, when it comes to grading out the offense, it is an A overall. As I've already detailed, they have arguably the best young core of outfielders, the best corner tandems, the best offensive catcher in baseball, arguably, in Wilson Contreras behind the plate. There's a lot to like about this Cardinals squad, really believing in them and what they can do. Yes, there's going to be some questions up the middle in terms of what are you going to get from second base, from shortstop offensively. What are you going to get from those corner out? What are you going to get from those young outfielders? What are you going to get from Wilson Contreras? But if these players all play to their capabilities, I think that there's a lot to really like about this team and the well-rounded approach that they have. I think that there's a true feeling in St. Louis that this is a team that could really put themselves in a prime position for success in 2023. That's how highly I believe in what this Cardinals team has become. Yes, there's going to be questions no matter what, and injuries could play a very, very big factor in the derailment of any team, including the Cardinals. But if they can stay healthy, this is a team that is poised to do great things. Now, when it comes to grading out the offseason, it was an average, a C grade overall for the Cardinals. To me, this was the only blemish for this team this season. And I think that there's an opportunity that they could correct that at the trading deadline and be able to add more to what they already have in-house. And I think it's because of what they already have in-house as to why they did not do much. The one vacancy, the one need was absolutely fulfilled in bringing in Wilson Contreras. They would also re-sign Adam Wainwright, who was not yet ready to call it a career. And this is going to be an opportunity for the Cardinals to really put themselves out on a high note for Adam Wainwright. I think that this may be the final season for Adam Wainwright, and this is going to be a team that's going to want to be able to give their leader, their emotional leader, that clubhouse presence leader, a really farewell send-off in the right way. I think that for St. Louis, they could correct kind of the maybe lackluster offseason that they had in terms of acquisitions at the trading deadline. But for now, they addressed the need that they had. They brought back one of their own and are in a position where they can be truly successful without having had to spend a ton of money this offseason. Now, when it comes to grading out the franchise overall, I believe it's an A. With everything that we've already stated, it's just going to be reiterated right now. A very good young offensive core, the best, arguably, offensive catcher in the game, arguably the best corner tandems in Major League Baseball history. Just some of the pieces, some of the aspects of this 2023 Cardinals team going into this season that could potentially be the foundation, the bedrock for a truly successful run towards the World Series. I think that there's an opportunity that the Cardinals can really put themselves in a very significant place, not just in the National League Central, which to me is going to be a bit of an easier division with both the Pirates and the Reds in a rebuild mode, but not just in that spot, but being able to go through the National League as a whole in terms of the postseason and being able to put themselves in a position to go to the World Series and arguably even win the World Series. To me, the Cardinals have the foundation already laid for what they need to do, and they supplemented it well with the addition of Wilson Contreras. I think that there's more that can be done for the squad, potentially just in-house by bringing up a guy like Jordan Walker. Being able to really get themselves into a position of success is something that the Cardinals are going to be able to do from day one with the squad that they have, in my opinion. And I think that long-term, they're going to have very, very good chance of success at winning the World Series. But I want to hear from you. Cardinals fans, how are you feeling about your team's chances in 2023? What are the high spots that you're looking for? What are the concern areas? Let me know that all down in the comment section below, or find me over on Twitter at @banter_baseball, where we can keep the conversation rolling. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on our other social media outlets on Instagram and TikTok at Baseball Banter Broadcast. Make sure you check out the corresponding article on laracuenteledger.com about this video breaking down the state of the 2023 St. Louis Cardinals. If you want to follow us even more on that and show more support for the channel, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. It is our merchandise shop. We have a ton of merch and a ton of promo codes that you can use to save on repping the Baseball Banter Broadcast. So if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on this YouTube channel and the bell for post notifications, as most of our audience is not yet subscribed, and we want to continue to try to grow this baseball community. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast listening platform, then make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review, as it does a huge service, again, as we try to build up this baseball community. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next broadcast when we banter about baseball. Peace.